Welcome to LeCorner, La Source's digital show dedicated to the sport and entertainment industry. Every 2 weeks, we invite a professional to share their experience, background, and challenges. The sport industry moves fast, and having their insights is the best way to keep up to speed. Welcome to LeCorner.
MLSE Digital Labs is an innovation organization that unites business and digital strategy, working across MLSE business operations and the front office. Its mission is to provide end-to-end delivery, starting with top-level strategy and continuing through product design and detailed technical development and deployment. In 2021, I had really the pleasure to have an insightful discussion with Tika Cookson, now Director, Membership and Retention of MLSE, within the structure of Digital Labs. From research to production, they possess almost all the capabilities to develop new ideas or products for their clients. This is really a great example of how a sport organization can structure a digital department to bring more value to its fans, to its clients, and keep resources in-house. You were mentioning interactivity or personalization as key for your fans, and I will jump right into it, but MLSE Digital Labs, to which extent was it involved? Or because from the quick presentation you made, it sounded like you were doing everything in-house. So for me, it's like, is it something where based on your research, you say, okay, we would like to have some widgets to have like chats or whatever the level of sophistication you want into the interactivity or personalization of the app. Mm-hmm. But is it something you build internally? Is it something where you scout and monitor outside that you integrate? How do you work actually?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And, I think it's different in every situation, to be honest, for us. We do, whenever we start out with a new idea or going down a new road of a new product, we do a bit of an assessment on buy versus build. Like what are the existing capabilities out there? What do we have the capabilities to do ourselves? And what makes the most sense for us?
And actually, quick questions on that. Is it when you do this kind of review, is it for one team? Like, do you say it's for the Raptors first, or is it for Toronto FC and the Raptors, or do they have to tick bugs and I'm interested, and so you have to review for the 4, for the 2, for 3 franchises, or how does it work actually?
Yeah, it's a good question too. I think on the sport side, on the sport performance side, it is a little bit more team or franchise based. So, something can be more soccer focused, that, maybe the foundation of it might have applications across soccer or, across hockey or basketball. But the actual, when you come down to some of the health data or the performance data, like that doesn't necessarily have applications across all. So I think on the sport performance side, it's a little bit team focused. But on the fan engagement side, it's really, because we have access to all these different fan bases and we are trying to build things that can be applicable across different fan bases, that we're not looking at it on a team specific basis. We're really looking at doing the assessment on, what it is that we're trying to do, who are we trying to do it for, mm-hmm. and what do we need to be able to do it. And when we say who we're doing it for, it's really for the fans that we think are going to be most engaged with it. It could be fans. Yeah, exactly.
You're targeting a demographics rather than like,
demographics
it's the demographics
and psychographics and behavioral. Like we don't really care if someone is a 18-year-old fan or a 45-year-old fan, but if they're an avid Leafs fan, that's who we're targeting, right? If there's someone that wants to engage with everything, so we're really looking at our fan behaviors and our fan kind of psyches a little bit, and building our products off of that information that we know is going to resonate with those types of people.
Do you conduct your own research, or do you work with like I know you're working with different universities, but like behavior science is key today. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's also a little bit of that same buy versus build mentality when it comes to research as well. We have the capabilities in-house to do some research here, but when it does come to some of the more behavioral science type ones where we're going a little bit deeper, we do work with some third parties. We have a couple, research vendors that we like to partner with. But if we're just we do a lot of kind of research still in-house that's more quick pulse type research where we're not going as deep. And we find that just allows us to be a little bit more nimble and flexible, because once you kind of get a vendor involved or a third party involved, it does become a little bit more of just a longer process sometimes and more back and forth, et cetera. So for some of the quick hits, we do it in-house.
Okay, cool. Now I'm trying to paddle back a little bit and going back to the digital labs, because I think that's something that I want to touch upon. And I think I will touch upon also the future of sports lab, I think, a bit later on, but on digital labs, because for me, it's like you've been capable to a certain extent. I mean, you will need to tell us a bit how many people that is, the different teams and everything. But for me, it's like you're just showing the sports industry how you can internalize capabilities.
Yeah.
Sure, you have your own roadmap, your own understanding of the fan, you know where you want to go. And okay, either we go inside and we do it ourselves because we have the capacities and we know how to do it, or we say, okay, maybe it's better to go outside and to buy because it's already available. It's more rapid. It's economically more relevant. And so we go outside. But digital labs, if you can tell us, because I think you are quite a huge number of people there.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll touch on digital labs a little bit first, and then I'll speak to Future of Sport Lab a bit. So digital labs as a group, we started about 3 years ago. Some of our teams were already existing within the organization, but about 3 years ago, Hamza Tarani, our chief technology and digital officer, came on board, and he really brought all of the technology, digital innovation strategy functions together across the organization. Okay. And so that, as I mentioned previously, that encompasses our IT and networks functions. So, the more traditional IT, help desk and all that sort of stuff. Our venue technology team. So they're the ones that operate all of our technology in venues. So anything to do with all of the video boards, all of the audio technology, all of the broadcast technology in-house.
Ticketing as well?
Sorry?
For the accreditation, ticketing, all these
things. Yeah, ticketing is a little bit separate, but we do our digital team works on the technology for the ticketing.
Okay.
So that's what our product team works a lot on in partnership with Ticketmaster, since they're our ticketing vendor essentially. And then we have the product development, software engineering, and design components of digital labs, as well as data science, and then strategy and analytics, and our general innovation and esports team as well. So that kind of all sits within digital labs. So we all in total probably make up about 100 people. And the digital product strategy innovation side probably makes up close to kind of 50 to 60 of those, I would probably say. So we're a pretty big group, and wide ranging in our skill sets and talents, which is really exciting.
I can definitely tell you have an army of people compared to well, maybe not in the US, but compared to most European teams or leagues or even federations. It's everybody would die to get this kind of rough figures, more or less. But the vision is excellent, and you were saying at the beginning, data is key or is of paramount importance. To which extent, where does it sit within digital labs? Because I think there is a clear link between the strategy, the apps, and the digital assets you're trying to build with the data you are gathering. But as you are building the product, I'm sure you are collecting even more data, first-party data especially, and so you are even more aware of the different behaviors and needs that you need to solve. So I was just wondering, do you have a data science team on the architecture side as well? How does it operate altogether?
Yeah, so we have two, I guess I'll call them data teams. So we have our data science and data engineering, which sits with our technology and product team primarily. So they kind of roll up under that software engineering, architecture, and design type bucket. And they do a lot of work on the team side, actually. So kind of with our front offices, and they do a lot of work there that I can't go too much in detail to, but they also do a lot of work with our fan facing products and gathering a lot of our first party data. And then we also have our analytics team, which, so if our data science team is going really deep on some of the model building and doing some of the back end kind of data engineering work to get the data ready for consumption, the analytics team is then doing a little bit of the translation of data into insights and actions. And so the analytics team sits with the strategy and innovation team, which is my team here. And so they sit and kind of operate as a central service, not only for our technology digital team, but for any of our business units across MLSE. So they work very closely with our ticketing team, with our partnerships team, with food and beverage, marketing, retail, and do kind
so
of.
they serve the clients internally.
Exactly.
They're kind of a consulting data group that serves every client's internal clients based on their needs.
Yeah.
You've reached the end of this segment. I hope you've learned something new. If you want to learn more about LastSource and our activities, visit our website, www.lastsource.io, or subscribe to our newsletter to receive the best sports tech news in your mailbox every month. And if you are still not entertained, listen to all of our LeCorner episodes to get the best insight into the sports industry. See you soon on LeCorner.
Le Corner.